What's good, y'all? Michael here today with another video. Before we begin, go subscribe to my channel, leave a like. I'm actually recording this early in the morning, so I just wanted to get it done and over with. So before I start my day, this is a little prediction video. I had to drink something before I get this started. As you know, the Bears and the Falcons play tomorrow, 1 p.m. East, because I live in Eastern time zone. I'm not telling you where I live, but just know I live somewhere in Eastern time, an Eastern time state. Yeah, you don't say I'm a bandwagon because I was actually born in Chicago, just moved. So let's get into this. The Falcons are currently winless right now. They're heading in this game 0-2. Do I think this might be a guarantee win? No. Because here's the thing. The Falcons have a very, very, very good offense. Probably top 10 at best. The thing that's keeping them winless right now is mostly the defense. They got their brains splattered against Russell Wilson at home, and they blew a lead to Dak Bortles. So let me ask you a question. Will this be an easy team? No, they won't. Because this team has some key offensive players. Now, Julio did not participate in 3 straight practices, so it's doubtful he will play this Sunday. But even if he does play, folks, it's probably going to be some limited snaps by what I'm hearing from Dan Quinn, which obviously I don't know why Dan Quinn still has a job at this point. So let me ask you a question, folks. Let me ask you a question. What tests will we see? We will see the Falcons offense versus the Bears defense. Best offense in the league versus best defense in the league. Do you want to know what this game kind of reminds me about? Y'all know that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game where Mitch threw 6 touchdowns at Soldier Field against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay really had a poor defense in 2018. The defense, but here's the thing: Atlanta defense is only good at stopping the run. They're only 9th at doing that. The rest they are crappy at. Keep this in mind, folks. The Bears have only allowed 1 touchdown pass this season. Keep that in mind, folks. The Bears have only allowed 1 touchdown pass. The rest were just red zone runs. So allowing your opponents to score field goals is good and all that, but the question is, how will the offense look against this poor Falcons defense? As you know, everybody's typing in their little comment section that the Bears will make Dan Quinn look like a confident head coach because of how bad the O-line is, which they are doing solid pretty far. They only give up 5 sacks so far this season. The line is doing a pretty solid job and blocking, and when they hand the ball off to Montgomery, Cohen, or Patterson. So let this sink into you. They are only good at stopping the run, which they're 9th at stopping. So that will be a problem, but I think our run game has looking good so far. So since we're running the ball a lot, we saw the past two games where we were in the rushing attack way more, and we actually led the we're leading we're like second in the rushing in rushing yards in the NFL. So, as you know, just for you Bears fans, just because we're facing a winless team doesn't mean where we copy and paste the W right there. Is this a winnable game? Yes, it is. But this team is not a team to be sleeping on, because the offense is good. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, if he might be playing, and Hayden Hurts, and Todd Gurley. But they didn't. They don't. I don't think they run the ball. I think they rely on Matt Ryan throwing the ball, and that. Because here's the thing. I don't think this is why they let Devontae Freeman go, because I don't think Devontae Freeman was actually used very properly in their system, so that's why they cut him. So seeing Todd Gurley barely get anything because he's on one of my fantasy teams and he's getting me barely a bunch of yards, I might have to bench him sooner later there. Excuse me. So I'm predicting Mitch to have a 3-touchdown day. 3 touchdowns. As you know, last week I picked him to throw 4 touchdowns against the Giants. That wasn't the case. This will be 3 touchdowns. At best, this will be very easy for Mitch, because when he threw 6 touchdowns against Tampa Bay, though that was at the Windy City, not an indoor stadium. The difference is it's in a dome where there's no wind, so it pretty much makes the day more easier, because it might be a little deja vu if we see Trubisky throw over 9,000 touchdowns against the Falcons. Now, that's impossible. That was a joke. Don't type your little comments and say there's no way Trubisky can have 9,000 touchdowns against the Falcons. That was literally a joke. Who will be the offensive player of the game? Allen Robinson, of course, because he's the star of the team. 3 touchdowns will go to these people. 1 will go to Jimmy Graham in the red zone. 2 will go to Darnell Mooney, because he's already making an impact in the offense so far. You've seen how Darnell Mooney actually is creating an environment in this offense. And the third one, we are going to Cole Kmet, or Allen Robinson. Because here's the thing. The third touchdown might be Allen Robinson, because we want to get Cole Kmet in a very comfortable. We want to get him more comfortable in the system. It takes time for a rookie to develop in the new system. Like he won't magically do what he did in college just like that. We just want to get him comfortable in the new system before we make him get in those positions where he's got to catch some balls. He's very good at blocking so far. He's actually one of the best lead blockers in the NFL. And who will be the Bears' defensive MVP? This will actually be a surprise for you. I'm predicting Kyle Fuller to be the defensive player of the game. Kyle Fuller is actually being sleeping on by lots of media outlets. Even though Kyle Fuller drops a lot of easy interceptions, at least he's doing something. Just because he doesn't pick up an interception doesn't mean anything. He's actually leading. He's actually like second in the. He's like 6th in the NFL in pass deflections. So how will this defensive crew work against the Giants? No. against the Falcons. So we might see Khalil Mack, we might see Robert Quinn, because they're already making a pass duo in the NFL so far. Akeem Hicks has already gotten back-to-back sacks. We're going to see him more. The three-man rule has already been activated, folks. It's already been activated. Like we've seen it. We've seen both players, both of the three get sacks, and we're seeing the secondary good as well. The only thing that's hurting us is Danny Trevathan. If he's playing this Sunday, if he's playing tomorrow, I pray for the best. I pray for the best out of Danny Trevathan because he worked. I don't know why we didn't keep Nick Kwiatkowski like that. He did like. I love Danny Trevathan. I always thought Danny Trevathan was still that threat even when he was in Denver. He did show it in the Bears, but I think he's getting old. He's getting a little bit slow. But I don't want to have another Prince of Nukamora on the team. I don't want to, because here's the thing: we already got rid of the corpse of Anukamura, and we replaced him with Jalen Johnson, who's already making an impact in the NFL. He might win Defensive Player of the Year at best. Behind, it might go to Chase Young, but he might be a second runner-up, Jalen Johnson. I don't want to have a Prince. Here's the thing: Prince Anukamara will always be loved in my heart. I actually liked Prince Anukamara, but it wasn't. But he was just getting old. It's nothing said. He was getting up there in age, and he wasn't good anymore. My favorite memory of Prince Anukamara was that pick six against the Seahawks, the game winner pick six. Prince Anukamara, always be loved. Good luck, and wherever you may find. The only question is Danny Trevathan getting old? Is he getting up there in age? Because he's been blowing a lot of coverages and barely stopping the run. For you Bears fans that are watching this video, at least you have Iggy. At least you have number 45 sitting right behind him and saying, I'll take his job if he's not doing that well. Because Danny needs to get benched. I'm sorry to say this. If he's playing tomorrow, I pray the best out of him. If he is, I'm praying for the best out of him. But Iggy won't surprise me because I trust Iggy more than Danny Trevathan right now. But I still pray for the best out of Danny. I did predict him to have like 5 interceptions this season, but that's not the case. I just gotta hope Danny Trevathan makes a good impact against this. I wouldn't call it. If Shopagano is not doing a good job, then he is doing a good job so far. But I think realistically, we had a Nukamura staying up there in age for so long, and we decided to cut him. I don't think we're getting rid of Danny Trevathan anytime soon because we gave him a contract extension before the season started. I think it was a 4-year deal worth 500 and no, it's 59 million grand. I don't remember the contract very well because it was a long time ago. Like I have to search back about what money the Bears extended Trevathan. Anyway, let's get back to the Falcons and Bears game. I'm predicting Mitch to have 3 touchdowns, no interceptions as so far. And I predict the score to be a high score game because we all know Atlanta is going to get a lot of shootout games that will result in random outcomes. I'm predicting the score to be 31-24. You heard it, folks. 31-24. The Bears move on undefeated. 3-0. and Dan Quinn. They already told Dan Quinn, if you lose to Trubisky, we're firing you. If they lose to Trubisky, then they are definitely done with Dan Quinn. If they make Mitch look confident, because Dan Quinn is supposed to be a defensive coordinator, they will fire him. That's not a question. They'll fire Dan Quinn. It'll be a shock to me that if they kept Dan Quinn, even if they lose to Trubisky. But anyway, that's all. Subscribe. My name is Michael, and I approve this message.